I'm Norris McDaniel. I've been going to Dominican Republic for 27 years, doing missions work, short-term, going for staying for 10 days, 2 weeks. I've been probably 55 times. About 2 years ago, I met a man there that said he was wanting to get walkers and wheelchairs for the handicapped, needy people. And being an electrician, I told him that could possibly make a walker with conduit, and I would come home and try, and I did come home and made this walker. And the good part about it, it only cost about $10. And I want to video this where maybe other people can also make them. If you would look here at the floor, you can see the things that are needed. I have 3 pieces of conduit, a conduit bender, need 6 bolts. This goes on the end. They're buy them at your hardware store. They go on chairs, but they will go on the end of that walker also. And you need a drill, a tape measure, and a hammer, and a little thing to make your indention to drill holes with. I have pre-cut my conduit. The longest one is 102 inches long. This one in front here is 78. This other one is 60 inches, which is half of a piece of conduit. It takes 2.5 pieces of conduit to make this. Step 1, or number 1 of my conduit, we need to measure to get the center of it. It's 102 inches, so 51 inches would be half of it. Your first measurements is 12.5 inches from center. Then you measure another 12.5 inches for your bend. And on the other side, 12.5. And 12.5 from there. And you'll need to mark these all the way around because your conduit bender turns opposite of each other. This is a thin wall bender, and you put this mark on your bender at the mark on the conduit. You put your mark right on the line. Put your foot on the conduit bender, mash hard with your foot, and pull back with your hand. You'll make a 90-degree bend. This bender has a little bubble right there to tell me when I get a 90-degree bend. Be sure you hold this up at a straight as possible so that when you bend it, they'll be 180 degrees each other. Since you're bending it by hand, sometimes it's impossible to get it straight. When one is off the ground like that a little bit, just take the other and pull it down. Come up the other and just a little bit. That's pretty good. The next thing we want to do is drill some holes for this. And they're 4 inches off center. So we'll measure here 4 inches. And 4 inches. Now also you'll need to drill some holes for this one. And it is 12 inches from this mark here. To make sure the holes drill easy It's good to have a little punch to get it started well. I'm only going to drill a hole through one side of this at this time. We'll need to turn it over at this time to make our next bend, so our holes will be on the right side. You see the red line? You want to put your mark right on it. Let me turn it around where you can see a little better. You see the red line and the mark on the bender. Try to have your bender in line with your tubing. That's the first, number one. This is number 2. It is 78 inches long, so that would be 39 inches to the center. And your bend on it is 10 inches from center. You want to make 2 on this one. Again, put your mark on your conduit bender, on the mark on the conduit. Push hard with your foot and pull the handle over till it has a 90-degree bend on it. The thing you want here is to make sure your pipe's as much in line as possible. Free-handing it makes you have to do a little straightening up sometimes. But the pipe is easy to work with. This is number 3. It's 60 inches. It's 1/2 of a piece of conduit. So half of that would be 30. We have to make 2 bends on each end here, and this is a little more difficult. But you measure 13 inches from center. Then 13 more inches. This is number one, this is number two, and we began to put it together at this time. I marked my centers the starting with, so now they should be equal right here. And I'll put a little bracket on here to help me hold it, which you can buy these at the hardware store. If you're going to make very many, I would suggest very strongly that you get them. When I drill these holes, to start with, this is why it makes it so I drill them earlier, because it makes it much easier to drill through the others at this time. Put me a bolt in that hole. This is a brass bolt. They make a self-locking nut, which I do not have this time, I'm sorry, but that's what I would suggest that you get. I just moved these brackets from here down to the side to hold the connecting bar. I will drill a hole in there, complete the hole. I've already got it on this side. And these J-bolts are made to hold it so I can drill a hole in there and keep them lined up. Again, you don't have to have them, but I would encourage you, if you're going to make them, to. It's much easier to drill the holes. Drill this, put it on there. Again, in making these, they make a self-locking nut. Once you tighten it, it will not come loose. And I assure you that would be much. I'll take these off and put self-locking nuts. I'm turning it over where I can get a better angle at drilling, where I can put my pressure down on it sideways, makes it much easier. Always turn your bolts to the inside so nobody can rub them from the outside. And you could take a hacksaw and saw the bolt sticking beyond the nuts, bolt that sticks beyond the nut. Saw it off even with the nut. Now we're going to turn it over and drill a hole on the other side. have these little table, chair. You buy them I bought these at Lowe's. They slip right over the end of it. Now, completed walker. This has got the legs are a little bit long on the front. When you make one, changing or it's setting level is not real good because you free-handed everything, so you can level it up with just sawing a little bit of the end of it off with a hacksaw. See, this is fine, but I think perhaps the front legs may be a little bit long. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good walker. Steady. And the beautiful part about it only costs about $10. I appreciate you taking your time, and I trust this will be a blessing and help someone be able to help someone else. Thank you very much.